Toy Mantis is back with a new toy discussion. Yes, I did say the Toy Mantis. In case you missed it, you probably have, that I changed my name. I just kind of wanted to make it more unique. So, moving on. That's it. The Toy Mantis, 2052, got hit by a garbage truck, whatever. So, today's toy discussion, though. I'm going to talk about something that one of my buddies actually mentioned, and I kind of wanted to talk about this too, and that is about figure swappers. And if you guys don't know what that is, I'm sure everyone does, but maybe some people don't. Figure swappers are people who like to take bad figures they had or whatever, and then they swap out with good figures or new figures, whatever. And that's something that has been going on. I think it's been around forever, since toys were around, probably.
Something Hasbro already knows.
But this is something
I only remember
really seeing them in
one is probably never going to change
2014 when they went
clearly
to
if
they
they
get away with it
where
the first time.
packaging was all
box styles. The thing is, I'm
Definitely
really
made it
making this video about
easier
is why does
for
Hasbro
those
help
people
them?
that-
And think about that. Why does Hasbro help them? And a lot of you probably are saying, well, they can't help them. How do they do that? And whatever. It's the store's fault. It's the workers who accept it's fault, which is true. But Hasbro really makes it harder for the workers to identify what is a figure swap. And I pulled out some boxes here, and I'm going to explain exactly why I think this is literally, like, I don't know, is it a game from Hasbro? Do they think it's just kind of funny? They really make it seem like it's easier. And let's go and start with their 80 years line. So, you know, this is just old box I pulled out, and this was the Spider-Man and Iron Man 2-pack, right? In the back, you could see the images of the characters, right? You could see them on the sides. You know exactly what they're supposed to be wearing. It's just concept art, really. So, pretty still a good way to identify the figure, and they do that with some other stuff. But as years go on, they make it harder. Now, with the X-Men line, this had to be the worst one. The design team, I think whoever works in their design team for the packaging must really hate working for Hasbro or something and just thinks this is like a funny prank on them, and then they just roll with it. For example, the X-Men line, you got Domino's box, right? But her name gets scratched out intentionally, like Deadpool's doing it, and then writes Marvel's Domino, like who it's supposed to be. But it already looks like it's tampered with, you know, because that was what they wanted to go for. They do it on the back. And then the funniest thing is the silhouette. You see a silhouette of the character, so now this can essentially be almost anyone as long as they fill out that silhouette. And it meets the worker's eyes. And, you know, Domino is probably like the worst one to grab, because that this is like very like, yeah, that's Domino. But for people who don't know, you can put anyone that fills out that, right? Deadpool, Cable, those guys, I know they were notorious for swaps when they had that 2-pack come out and such. They put that on themselves, I think. You know, it's like you guys really made it easy for people to just put whatever in. You blacked out what was supposed to be in the box. Looks cool, I get it, but why not just do it to only one side? You made it all 3 sides. No one knows what this figure is supposed to look like. And parents don't know what this looks like. So, you know, I think Hasbro just doesn't care, because either parents don't know and they'll just buy whatever because that's what the kid sees and wants. And this year, right? So you had for example, Thor. Nothing specific to Thor at all. This is all like the Infinity Saga, and then at the back you see Avengers Endgame, but because of their marketing, and they wanted to hide what Thor looked like in the movie, right? They put how Thor looked like in Infinity War. So when people are going to see Thor, they're going to look for that image of Thor in the back if they are caring enough. Then they're going to see a buzz cut Thor, and they're going to think, yeah, whatever's in this box is fine. Again, another thing Hasbro made easier for them. Now, I wanted to talk about another box, though, is the X-Men wave. Now, they do show, like, character. They show the image of him in the back. They can see like a little digital render of Cyclops and all the other figures that is supposed to be there. And on the side art, you know, they said Cyclops, but I think another stupid thing is that they put things that don't say what it's supposed to be right in the front, just making it complicated for workers. You know, that this isn't necessary. I mean, I get it. You're trying to get some box design and show some love to whatever the comics had, but it's not really like smart, because look at what's been going on. Just poor packaging ideas to meet certain agendas and certain designs, and you know, it just really shoots, I guess, Hasbro in the foot, or Target. I watched a video about what Scott Knightlick said. He's the guy that had DC Universe Classics under him, and he said that how they viewed it was that they just didn't see it as stealing, but more stealing from space shelf time. So if stores were to have swaps on the shelf, then all it's taking away is the store ordering more product because they had that product on the shelf, and no one's buying it because they know it's a swap. But obviously, like, Target has to, like, throw things away. I used to work for Target, like, 8 years ago, long time ago, and, like, they throw away a lot of stuff, guys. Like, expensive, like, things, because it's just, well, it was returned, so whatever, it all gets insured. You know, so I kind of understand what happens with Target's end, but as far as like actual like numbers between those businesses, I don't know what goes on. I don't know if Hasbro's like, hey, we're getting hurt by this, or if Target's getting hurt by it because they're the ones that accepted the return in the first place, so they kind of brought it on themselves. Kind of makes more sense the second way around, right? But it's also like, just like, how is this like still a thing? You know, it's really you would think that they would put some sort of like, hey, if this seal is broken, you are no longer to accept the return, or something, somewhere like how they have with video games, right? But obviously, like, kids change their minds, so parents would probably lose it. Because I bet they have a kid get a toy and they open it and then they realize they don't like it and then they never play with it, so parents probably just take it back, I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not a dad, thank God. But that's why I got all this, right? So really, thank God. That's just what I have to say, though. Like, it's just kind of like, why does Hasbro make it easier on them? Why does it, like, even still an issue? You know? Really nothing was put in place to go against it. And I like what McFarlane does. So McFarlane, like, for example, I'll show a bad example because they were making this mistake before. And I think they still are going in back and forth. But they were showing, like, movie images of Batman, right? And I think Tom McFarlane maybe saw what was happening. And then, like, you know, every box was saying Batman, 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 when we were having like Green Lantern style Batmans, and no one knew. But he kind of changed it up a bit. So, you know, Dr. Fate, this is a review I'm gonna have coming up very soon, next week. But in the back of his box is, you see a figure, an actual figure in all his glory, actually showcasing the product, how you can make it look. And this is also like another thing, is I love how McFarlane really does showcase what the figure is supposed to be, and this is like a style you can have him displayed in, right? Like, this is something you can play with, or have some sort of idea to place him, you know, or how to pose him. Get the most out of that experience, you know. This stuff, like, oh yeah, it's cool, but I mean, who cares? It's blacked out. There's nothing special. It doesn't showcase anything cool about the figure. It just makes the box look cool. And yeah, I think it's kind of weird that they're not really showcasing the figures as much as they used to. They do go back and forth with it, though. This is like what's funny and like strange about it, is that they'll make, hey, here's what the figure is supposed to look like. and then they'll release another wave, and then it'll be like, nah, this is like a design, you know, there's 50 characters in the background, you can't tell who's supposed to be who. You know, I think it's just Hasbro can do better on packaging. All I really like am just here to say is more so of just asking that question to Hasbro, like, why do you guys make these decisions, and do you like think about what you decide to do in your designs that might affect its release in stores? Because you got the Hasbro team knows, right? And I hope this is something that they see, so they can actually put it into question, like, huh, maybe we are making it too easy. You know, maybe we should actually have a toy photographer and take a picture of a toy and put it on the back of the box, because that's what it is. That's what it's supposed to be. You know, you gotta do something more for the figure itself, and not just because of what it really came from. And I know it sounds good too. Like it's great to showcase this is this character and this is where he came from, but you gotta like make something that shows people what it's supposed to be. And yeah, just I don't know. I would rather see Hasbro do better on their decisions of packaging. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video discussion. I do want to talk about scalpers, I guess, in another video. I was almost going to do both at the same time, because I do think Hasbro does help both of them out, but that is a whole other discussion. And then I also want to talk about, you know, other things in the future, like Sentinel, Badnies, but that's going to be in the future when I actually get Sentinel. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe.